Yeah, go Kings. Okay. Kings go 4-2 on the road trip. They lose twice to the Pelicans, but pretty much dominate the Timberwolves. OMG, did you see that dunk by De'Aaron Fox? The leaning tomahawk dunk. Ah! Been gone for a little while, guys. Been taking a little bit of a break. I've been using this Thanksgiving break as a time for rest, getting some other things done. So I kind of missed a couple of games, but I'm back. In the first game that I missed, the Kings played in New Orleans on Wednesday, November 22nd. The Kings got beat 112-117. And in the other game I missed, the Kings won in Minnesota on Friday, November 24th. 124-111. So all in all, the Kings on this long 6-game road trip, they went 4-2, which is not bad at all. You cannot complain about that record. It seemed like the Pelicans dominated them. Those were their 2 losses. But other than that, 4-2 on the road, I'll take it. Let's go. What's going on, all my folks out there? It's your guy, Jay Woods, aka Shy the Man, back at you with another episode of The King's Morning After. Cup of Joe with Jay. That's a good cup of Joe. The King's Morning After. Midday cup of Joe with Jay. And my coffee is still warm, by the way. Ooh, strong today. So the Kings went 4-2 on the road trip. That's great. The Kings are currently 9-6 and in 6th place in the West. Behind the 5th place Mavericks, 10-6. 4th place Nuggets, 11-6. Can you believe that? Nuggets, 4th place. Suns have hopped up all the way to 3rd place, 11-6. Thunder, 11-5 in 2nd place. And the Timberwolves are still in 1st place at 12-4. So we have a very, very tough West Coast division evening out here with the Lakers right behind the Kings, right on their tail in 7th place at 10-7. And 8th place Rockets at 8-6. I mean, the losses are only separated by, at the top, it's the Timberwolves with 4 losses. And down at the bottom, the Pelicans and Warriors, 9th and 10th place, have 9 losses. But between 1st and 8th place, 6 losses. 4 to 6 losses. The difference is 2 losses between all these teams. Who's going to stand out in the West? Who's going to put their chest up and start dominating this West Coast division? Right now, it's almost like an 8-way tie in the West Coast division. But that's my black, 1 tablespoon of creamer. Some stats from the Pelicans game. Harrison Barnes played the most minutes with 41 minutes. That shows that Coach Mike Brown really trusts Harrison Barnes out there on the court. He's always in the game. De'Aaron Fox, 38 minutes, Sabonis, 36. Leading scorer, De'Aaron Fox with 26, Sabonis with 23, Harrison Barnes with 22. Off the bench, our guy TREY LYLES is back. 12 big points for Trey off the bench. Monk, 10 points off the bench. Domantas Sabonis with 9 big rebounds. TREY LYLES with 8 big rebounds off the bench. JaVale McGee with 5 minutes on the game. TREY LYLES played a lot more than JaVale McGee during that game, I noticed. Trey Lyles was trying to stay with Zion Williamson as the primary defender. And I'll tell you what, nobody was really able to hold on to Zion Williamson. For the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram with a big 23 points. Zion Williamson was the leading scorer for the Pelicans with 25 points. Jonas Valanciunas with 11 big rebounds in the game. And off the bench, Jordan Hawkins had a big 13 points for the Pelicans. Eye test. What I saw during this game was a whole lot of Zion Williamson and a whole lot of Brandon Ingram. And they were looking pretty much unstoppable, mainly Zion Williamson. Nobody was able to stop Zion Williamson to the hole at all. Double team, triple team, it didn't matter. And the fact that he's left-handed and kind of unorthodox, I think throws guys off a lot. And his strength and power is unmatched. I mean, he can go right up against your chest and go right through you and still score, and you will be called for the foul. So just watching Zion to the basket, his foot speed, nobody was able to hang with him laterally. And then at the basket, his execution with his left hand, he can even go over to his right. It's immaculate. He gets to the basket, gets these 1-inch layups, 1-inch shots. He's damn near unstoppable. Brandon Ingram's shot was hitting. He was making pretty much most of his shots. He had 23 points of the night, and nobody had an answer for Brandon Ingram. It was just too much Zion Williamson, too much Brandon Ingram. The Pelicans pretty much dominated most of the game. The Kings came back a couple times, even came back at 100-100, but the Pelicans just held down their home court and just were a little bit more dominant than the Kings were, especially at the end of the game. There was points when the Pelicans were just really D'ing up the Kings, and the Kings couldn't score, and the Pelicans kept scoring. So that's my eye test for that game. Eye test. My eye test for the Timberwolves game on Friday. Just too much De'Aaron Fox. They couldn't hold De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox had 36 big points. At no point in the game did it feel like the Timberwolves were going to be able to take over the game or come back at all. It was just too much scoring from the Kings. And the Timberwolves didn't have a bad scoring night. I mean, Anthony Edwards had 35 big points on the night. Karl Anthony Towns had 27 big points on the night. So it's not like they weren't scoring. Rudy Gobert had 11 rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns also had 11 rebounds on the night. And they had Troy Brown Jr. with 10 points off the bench, 7 big rebounds off the bench. So big contribution off the bench for Troy Brown Jr. And even though those guys were out there doing their thing, it was just too much De'Aaron Fox. Malik Monk came off the bench at the end of the game and was doing his thing. He was hitting threes, hitting shots. They didn't really have an answer for Malik Monk. Sabonis doing his inside thing. He had 11 big rebounds, 15. It wasn't a huge scoring night for him, but he was distributing the rock. He had 5 assists. De'Aaron Fox with 12 big assists on the night. 3 more rebounds, and he would have to trip dub on the night. The Kings morning after. Bottom line. Today's bottom line is, for me, the bottom line was the Kings on this road trip. They finished off the road trip Friday against the Timberwolves. They finished off the road trip 4-2. They stumbled on the Pelicans twice. That's going to be interesting to see how the Kings can do against them in the future, because they are on the West Coast, and it is a team that they're going to need to be able to beat if they expect to go high in the standings and go far in the playoffs. But like I said, 4-2, I'll take it. The Kings have only lost to a few teams this year. They've only lost to the Pelicans. They've only lost to Golden State, and they've only lost to Houston. So the Kings have literally only lost to 3 teams this year, even though they have 6 losses on their record. It's crazy. The Golden State beat them twice. Houston beat them twice, and the Pelicans beat them twice. So they've lost to 3 teams a total of 6 times. It's like a team gets their has their number, and they really have their number. I don't know what that is. But the Kings on Tuesday get to redeem themselves against the Golden State Warriors. 6 p.m. at home. So we have a home game against our rival Golden State Warriors on Tuesday. That's going to be a big game. A game versus the hated Golden State Warriors. The Kings are currently 9-6. And they are 3-0 in this in-season tournament, which I'm still confused how it goes. It's like they just pick random times to play. Different teams have played a different amount of times. Some teams have played 2-3 times. Some played 5 games in the tournament. So it's kind of interesting to kind of see which games they decide are the in-season tournament games. Obviously, in the first phase of it, it's the group phase where they have these groups of regional teams. So that was kind of good to see the regional matchups and the teams go at it regionally. But now as they advance, I'm curious to see how they're going to be doing this. And also the last game, the tournament game, I guess is probably an in-season game as well. And is it going to be added to the schedule? Is there a point in the season where that game is supposed to happen? So hopefully all these questions will be answered pretty soon here with this in-season tournament. Hey guys, that's pretty much all I got for the day. All that I ask now is if you got any news or information from this, please hit that like button. If you're into Kings talk, NBA basketball, Sacramento news, anything like that, go ahead and subscribe. I'm a new channel, but hey, I'm getting better. And I'm going to get this thing down, have it more entertaining for you guys so you guys can come watch, have some fun with me. We'll talk some Kings, all right, guys? Pretty soon we'll do a live show with some chat. So please subscribe, join the community, Sacramento Kings community. Also, make a comment if you can. What did you guys think about this past road trip? How do you feel about the Kings in their past road trip? They went 4-2. How does it make you feel coming up for these next few games? Are you confident in the Kings and them in the Western Conference and what they can do? Or did this current road trip kind of scare you a little bit with the 2 losses to the Pelicans? Make a comment below. Comment on anything I said in this video. Any question I ask, go ahead and make a comment below. It's another way you could help my channel. Quick motivational statement. Whatever your goals are, stay committed. Stay consistent. The day that you're not committed and consistent with your goals is the day you start falling off. So every day, stay committed, stay consistent to your goals. Knock a little piece out each day. You'll get it done. Other than that, guys, that's all I have. Thanks for joining me. Come back next time after the next game for another episode of the Kings Morning After. Midday Cup of Joe with Jay.